Hello everyone. We are going to do a reading from our publication, The Century, and we're just going to read a few paragraphs in the book today. And these paragraphs are related to the important event at the end of the second decade in the 20th century, connected to the Great Depression. And there's a really good, clear, but not overly complicated explanation of the events related to the Great Depression in 1929. So let's just read a little bit from our publication today. The prevailing explanation for the economic crisis of the time is that a rise in industrial production throughout the 1920s was not met by an equal rise in wages. More goods were being produced more quickly than ever before. But because the big industrialists were pocketing so much of their profits, fewer and fewer people were in a position to purchase what the factories were making. For a time, the 1920s fascination with installment buying hid the economy's fatal flaw. People simply continued to buy more and more on credit. But even with a bundle of credit, consumers still had to meet payments. And as things got tighter, one of the first things they did was to stop buying cars and toasters and radios and furniture. The markets in turn became glutted with product, and industry ground to a halt. When the layoffs then began, the crisis became self-perpetuating. With no jobs to be found, even fewer consumers were in a position to buy. The sense of betrayal was overwhelming. People had bought into the frenzied 20s with ardor, unconcerned that they would eventually have to pay the price for their spending spree. More important, they had expected that the system that was bringing them so much prosperity would not ever fail, or at least not fail like this. They had not become millionaires, but they had dreamed of becoming millionaires, the life of luxury seeming at times to be a little more than a lucky break away. Now, while the truly wealthy were buffered from the crisis and even profiting from it, the best off among the middle class were postponing marriage and education and childbearing. The worst off were scrambling to meet even a subsistence existence. America had once been the land of possibility. Now it was the land of despair. In the spring of 1931, the people of Cameroon in West Africa sent New Yorkers a check for $3.77 to aid the starving in the U.S. Well, clearly some difficult times were being experienced by individuals at the end of the 20th century, or end of the 20s and beginning of the 30s. All right, well, that's what we'll stop our reading for today.